All right, time now to talk politics. In just a few hours, President Trump will be placing an important phone call to Russian President Vladimir Putin as the U.S. pursues a ceasefire deal, but also big developments when it comes to what's going on in Gaza. Let's go now live to NewsNation's chief Washington anchor and host of NewsNation's show On Balance with Leland. Of course, Leland Vittert. Leland, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Let's start off with the breaking developments. We understand that there are now 400 people, Palestinians are reporting that 400 people have died with the renewed airstrikes that are happening between Israel and Hamas. The ceasefire has completely eroded at this point. It is no longer in effect. So what can you tell us about the developing news that's happening in Gaza?
Always good to keep the numbers with a grain of salt, considering they come from Hamas itself, who doesn't distinguish between civilians and its own fighters. So they love to inflate numbers on a morning like this, just so we sort of seem aghast at this loss of life, if it is even true. But you're seeing right now, over the past 48 hours, a wholesale remaking of the Middle East, in that you have the Israelis going into Gaza with a ferocity that I don't think we will have seen in the past 17 months, because rather than an administration telling them about what they can't do to the Palestinians, this is an American administration telling them what they must do to get the hostages home. You have the American strikes against the Houthis, which is the Iranian-backed terror group in Yemen that's been targeting U.S. military ships. Again, a violence of action over the weekend by U.S. Navy fighter jets against them and bombing their command and control and weapons depots in a way and with a ferocity that certainly didn't exist during the Biden administration when there were other strikes. Lastly, you have a renewed pressure on Iran by President Trump. The Biden administration for a long time and sort of followed conventional Middle East wisdom, which said that all issues in the Middle East sort of come from the Palestinian-Israeli conflict. The Trump administration clearly has shifted that and saying all issues in the Middle East come from Iran. And that's why you're seeing this much more confrontational language and threats towards Iran by the administration.
All right, and thank you for the breakdown and explanation on when it comes to the numbers that are being reported. It was a great way to break that down. Now, from the Middle East, let's go to the war between Russia and Ukraine. Big conversation supposed to happen today between President Trump and Russia's president, Vladimir Putin. Tell us what you are hearing and what is expected to be discussed about trying to end this war.
Donald Trump thinks he can get a deal. We saw the really strong-arm tactics against President Zelensky of Ukraine to get the Ukrainians to agree to some kind of framework. And now comes the conversation with Vladimir Putin. And you got to be clear-eyed about who Vladimir Putin is. This is somebody who was trained by the KGB, so by definition a sociopath, and has successfully manipulated and humiliated President Bush, President Obama, President Biden. Now the question is, somehow can President Trump get a deal, not only a deal that everyone agrees to, but a deal that Vladimir Putin sticks with? And lastly, and I think this is where the details are really going to matter here, this deal has to be something in order for President Trump to achieve the kind of legacy moment that he wants with this, that ensures Ukraine's sovereignty, and also ensures that they remain outside of the sphere of influence and the very, very harsh thumb of Vladimir Putin's intelligence services. That's going to be quite an accomplishment if Donald Trump can pull it off, because it's diametrically opposed to what Vladimir Putin wants.
And before we go, one more question. I know this is a big political battle that's brewing when it comes to deportations for the Trump administration. I know a lot of it has to center around that Venezuelan gang and gang members that were transported out of this country. I believe it was the Tren de Aragua and that gang, and also what a judge's ruling was on all of this. So can you break it down in layman's terms to explain to people what is actually going on with this political battle between the Trump administration and a current district judge as well?
Your Spanish pronunciation is much better than mine. I won't try. What you have is the Trump administration believing that not only do they have a mandate to deport illegal aliens, but they have what they see as the political power to run roughshod over the way things have typically worked. There's this argument that because of the Enemies Alien Act from, I think it's 1798, that the Trump administration can declare these gangs, MS-13 from El Salvador and the Venezuelan gang you mentioned, basically as invasion forces against the United States. They came here illegally, therefore effectively declare wartime-like powers to then deport these folks. A federal judge said no. The Trump administration said the commander-in-chief's the commander-in-chief, and this is a national security issue, which is outside of the purview of the federal courts. And the line that is being used here, after all of these folks, illegal aliens with long criminal histories, were deported to El Salvador in the jail there. The argument was that used is something along the lines of this: a federal judge can no more put in an injunction against moving an aircraft carrier or general orders to take a hill or something that was going to happen on the battlefield than they can against the president using national security powers to deport people who are here illegally to commit crimes against the United States and present a danger to the United States. That's essentially what's going on, and Republicans think they're on very good footing politically because they love nothing more than putting Democrats in the position of having to defend hardened gang members and say, no, 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 these gang members should stay in the United States. Politically, it's a very difficult position for Democrats.
But you've broken it down for us so well, and we really do appreciate it. And Leland, thank you so much. And just put it in layman's terms. Makes sense, and we really appreciate it. And everyone, you've got to watch his show. Leland, we'll see you again soon, for sure. His show is called On Balance with Leland Vittert. You've got to check it out. It's tonight at 8 o'clock on NewsNation. That's channel 654 on Xfinity. If you have DirecTV, it's channel 307 or Dish channel 207. You can also check out newsnationnow.com to find a channel near you.